590 WCAB Rutherfordton with FM translator service on W265DW at 100.9. From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Florida is bracing for what could be a monster of a storm, Hurricane Dorian. Pete Gaynor, acting head of FEMA, just spoke with ABC News.
This is a Category 4, 150-mile-an-hour winds potentially. And surge, surge is the deadliest part of a hurricane, not necessarily the winds.
The storm now on track to make landfall sometime early Tuesday morning along Florida's east coast. ABC's Pete Combs is in Daytona Beach.
Cruise ship lines are still boarding passengers here in Florida, but warn that itineraries are changing as Hurricane Dorian grows stronger and heads for the coast. I talked with one grandmother boarding a flight to Daytona with her 11-year-old granddaughter, taking the girl on her very first cruise. They're still going to the Bahamas with a planned port of call in Nassau.
E-cigarette maker Juul may be coming under federal investigation. The Wall Street Journal says the FTC is taking a look at Juul's marketing tactics, especially when it comes to kids. ABC's Mona Rivera says there's concern about another death linked to vaping.
Recently, the first death linked to e-cigarettes was reported in Illinois, and now health officials in Oregon are investigating a possible second death linked to vaping, a patient who died last month at Providence Health. And other states this week are reporting fresh cases of respiratory illnesses linked to vaping. 2 California residents now have lung injuries possibly connected to vaping, and Colorado is reporting a second case of a vaping-related lung illness. Mona Rivera, ABC News.
Hong Kong officials are denying permission for another big pro-democracy protest this weekend. This comes after the arrest and release of 2 high-profile activists. Isaac Chang is another protest leader.
The Hong Kong people won't be threatened by the right terror and the fear message, and will still come out in the future protests.
A Nevada man arrested on the campus of the College of South Nevada with a rifle and thousands of rounds of ammo. He's due in court today. Police picked him up earlier this week after getting a tip. You're listening to ABC News.
Brought to you by Attorney Tax. If you're in trouble with the IRS and owe at least $10,000 in back taxes, listen to this important public announcement. The IRS is now offering a special program called the Fresh Start Initiative, which can offer significantly reduced settlements that can reduce your liability by thousands of dollars. These unique programs have been allocated to help the economy and substantially reduce or eliminate your tax burden. If you're approved and qualified, the IRS will stop the collections against you. Don't feel overwhelmed. Please call the Consumer Hotline to see if you qualify. 800-333-9896. Stop the wage garnishments, levies, and tax liens now. If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS, you may qualify for substantial relief and even forgiveness. See if you qualify and get the help you need by calling the Consumer Hotline. 800-333-9896. 800-333-9896. 800-333-9896.
More worries for Australia's Great Barrier Reef.
The outlook is that the condition has deteriorated. And the report calls out the biggest threat to the reef, which is climate change.
Susan Ley is Australia's Environment Minister, announcing that her country has downgraded the health of the reef to very poor. It covers over 130,000 square miles, and the coral has been dying off due to higher water temperatures. The backlash is growing over the British Prime Minister's plan to suspend Parliament with a Brexit deadline looming. ABC's Tom Rivers is at the Foreign Desk in London.
In a nutshell, the unelected head of state, the Queen, has signed off on the unelected head of government, Boris Johnson, suspending the elected House of Commons from having a meaningful say on what may turn out to be a UK no-deal exit from the EU. The government's transportation secretary, for one, trying to justify the move.
It's a cover when they keep saying you're not putting forward ideas. We are putting forward ideas.
Johnson's tactic gives lawmakers very little time to prevent Britain from crashing out of the European club without an agreement on October 31st. Tom Rivers, ABC News, London.
Making a shooting gesture with your hands could get you a criminal conviction in Pennsylvania. A state appeals court has upheld the conviction of disorderly conduct for a man arrested for making his fingers look like a gun and pointing it at another man. A neighbor who called 911 says he saw it and felt extremely threatened. This is ABC News.
Do you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes? The IRS has special programs in place that can eliminate or reduce your tax debt by thousands of dollars. With a call to ATA, you can stop the wage garnishments, levies, and tax liens now. The IRS is currently accepting reduced settlements and other favorable programs. You may qualify for substantial savings, so get the help you need. If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more, call ATA to see if you qualify. 800-805-1055. That's 800-805-1055. 800-805-1055.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Phil Sheehan at NC Tractor and Farm Supply wants you to know he is back in business after the fire. New location, 299 Railroad Avenue, and it's a great time to get the tractor you've always wanted. Massey Ferguson, ask about 0% financing with approved credit. Get ready for a busy season with a visit to NC Tractor and Farm Supply in their new location, 299 Railroad Avenue. Phone them 288-0395.
Good morning, everyone. We are off to a cooler start than what we had yesterday, thanks to high pressure and the dry air. Later this afternoon, we'll continue with the sunshine. It's warmer than yesterday. Still comfortable humidity. Great weather for area high school football games this evening. The high in the upper 80s. Tonight is clear and comfortable. The low Saturday morning in the low to mid 60s. Tomorrow is sunny. It's warm, and it's a tad more humid than today. The high temperatures again in the upper 80s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
59 degrees currently here at WCAB Studios in Rutherfordton. Warming up today to about 86 with sunny skies throughout today. And tonight for high school football, clear, lows around 61. Now, if you have a little chill factor, you may want to take a little sweater, a light jacket or something, but it's going to be real pleasant for those outdoor activities this weekend. Let's enjoy the holiday weekend as we approach Labor Day. End of summer's coming soon. 6 minutes after 7 o'clock, I have these death announcements this morning. Miss Brenda Roop, 79, of Spindale, died Friday at hospice of the Carolina Foothills. Those arrangements are incomplete and will be announced by Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service. And again, that's Miss Brenda Roop. Peggy Jean Tipton Carpenter, 82, of Rutherfordton, died Monday at her home. The funeral will be held at 10 o'clock Saturday at First Baptist Church, Rutherfordton. The family will receive friends from 6 until 8 o'clock on Friday today at Mike Behan's funeral home. Burial will follow at Mount Vernon Baptist Church Cemetery. Mike Behan's funeral home and cremation services in charge of the arrangement for Peggy Jean Tipton Carpenter. Britt Ann Blatton Keever, 87, of Rutherfordton, died Wednesday, August 28th. A memorial service will be held Sunday, September 1st at 3 o'clock at Grays Creek Baptist Church in Rutherfordton. An informal opportunity for all family and friends to visit with each other while enjoying the light refreshments will follow the service in the church Family Life Center. Mike Behan's funeral home and cremation services in charge of the arrangements for Brent N. Blanton Keever. Rebecca Diane Mode, age 74, of Bostic, died Tuesday at her residence. A memorial service will be conducted at 3 o'clock Sunday at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral Home and Cremation Service, serving the family of Rebecca Diane Mode. Reverend Michael Harrell Sr., age 75, of Rutherfordton, died Tuesday, August 27th at Adrium Health Cleveland in Shelby. The funeral service will be conducted at 2 o'clock Saturday at Keesler's Chapel United Methodist Church. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the service at the church, and burial will be in the church cemetery, with military honors being accorded by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services, serving the family of Reverend Michael Harrell Sr. Mr. John Lee Pruitt, 81, of Forest City, died Friday, August 23rd at hospice of the Carolina Foothills. A memorial service will be conducted at 2 o'clock Saturday at the Little White Country Church. Visitation will be from 12:45 until 1:45 Saturday at the church prior to the service. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Services in charge of the arrangements for Mr. John Lee Pruitt. Margie Sims Frady, age 95, of Rutherfordton, died Wednesday at hospice of the Carolina Foothills. Graveside services will be held 11:30 Saturday, August 31st at Calvary Baptist Church Cemetery. The family will receive friends from 10 until 11 Saturday at Crow's Mortuary. Crow's Mortuary, serving the family of Margie Sims Frady. John Albert Edwards Jr., 67 of Ellenboro, passed away Tuesday at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills in Forest City. The funeral service will be conducted at 2 o'clock today at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel, with honors being accorded by the Rutherford County Firefighters Honor Guard. Burial will follow in Bethel Baptist Church Cemetery. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service, serving the family of John Albert Edwards. Mr. James Allen Coffey, 44 of Bostic, died Monday, August 26th. The funeral will be conducted at 2 o'clock today at Washburn and Dorsey Funeral Home. Burial will be at a private service on the family property. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service, serving the family of Mr. James Allen Coffey. Revis Hines Henderson, age 92 of Mooresboro, died Tuesday at the Fairhaven home of Forest City. A graveside service will be conducted at 11:30 today at Hicks Grove Baptist Church. The family will receive friends from 10 until 11 at the funeral home prior to the service. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service, serving the family of Revis Hines Henderson. Williams Stevens Jr. of Rutherfordton died Thursday at Charles George VA Hospice. Those arrangements are incomplete and will be announced later by Mike Mahan's Funeral Home and Cremation Service. And again, that's William Stevens Jr.
Kindergarten, but hearing about a first kiss was too much? Really? After how to deploy a condom on cucumbers is part of the curriculum?
I'm here today with Professor Richard Goldman, who's holding history in the palm of his hand. Tell me, Professor, what does it feel like?
Well, like two uncirculated U.S. $10 Gold Liberty vintage coins. These coins are from the California Gold Rush era.
Look at the detail. This coin is over 100 years old, but it looks nearly brand new.
A limited number of these coins were rescued from government meltdown. The surviving gold coins are still in uncirculated condition, and they're available courtesy of government.com.
How can the public get their hands on these beautiful Gold Liberty coins?
Well, to find out how to secure your coins at this exceptional government price, call 1-800-333-2027. But there's a limit of 3 per household. So call now and we'll give you a free gold guide plus a bonus Patriots pack, including a 100-year-old U.S. Lincoln cent just for calling. Call now to get your free gold guide, including an actual 100-year-old U.S. Lincoln cent valued at over $10 free. 1-800-333-2027. That's 1-800-333-2027. Good
morning. Good morning.
The Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council present the story of Tom and Levi.
Tom is the smartest man I know. He's been a professor at 2 major universities, been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, he told me that he was having problems in his classes. I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. And he was telling them that he was doing it as a favor to them, but I think in reality, he just wanted to get out of there. I was really starting to worry because I saw something was wrong.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me, and my love for him was just immense.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
You know, when you need a plumber, you want someone with a reputation of getting right out to you and getting the job done for you the right way. That'll be Olmsted Plumbing. Since 1973, the Olmsted family has been serving homeowners and builders with the best of service. From unclogging a drain to replacing fixtures and appliances to remodeling jobs, their top quality work, fair prices, and punctual service has made them the area's leading plumbing firm. Eric and Chad are continuing that family tradition, and they'd like to serve you. Call 245-7302. Experience plus equipment equals excellence. Olmsted Plumbing at 245-7302.
Why wander around those overwhelming big box stores just to find a specific hardware item? Henson Building Materials has the right items for your needs and gets you in and out quickly. Stop by and see Jamie Earls or Terry Dunaway for your hardware needs. With a combined experience of over 25 years, they can help you with the right high-quality hardware and building materials at an affordable price. And remember our monthly doorbuster specials. Henson Building Materials. We're more than just a lumber yard.
Bill Doolin grew up to be a 6'2", 150-pound cowboy in Oklahoma. Looking for some easy money, he joined up with an outlaw gang known as the Daltons. Following the Coffeyville, Kansas disaster in which the Dalton gang was shot to pieces, Bill Doolin decided he would start his own gang. Bill and his gang robbed banks, trains, rustled, and murdered, along with selling whiskey to the Indians. In 1893, Bill married a woman who was, in modern parlance, a PK, which stands for preacher's kid. It seems that it was less that she was looking for a wild life than it was that Bill was looking to settle down. But the pull of the life of crime on Bill was too great, and he went back to robbing trains. By now, Bill had a price of $5,000 on his head. While lounging in a bathhouse in Arkansas, Bill was arrested and jailed. But he was out of jail in a short time, the result of being a part of a mass breakout. Bill Doolin was sure he wanted to go straight now, but there was that reward on his head. Then on August 25, 1896, U.S. Marshal Heck Thomas arrived at Doolin's home. Doolin's wife explained that Doolin was in the bedroom dead. He had died earlier of consumption. Marshal Thomas went to the bedroom and, confirming that Doolin was dead, blasted Doolin with both barrels of a shotgun. Now, why did Marshal Thomas do this dastardly deed? It seems that the $5,000 reward could not be collected if Doolin died of natural causes. Was Marshal Thomas some kind of a fiend? No, it was an act of kindness. For after collecting the reward, Marshal Thomas gave the $5,000 to Doolin's widow. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Well, it's Football Friday here on this Friday, the last one of August. And tonight, our high school football game of the week broadcast is Cherville at Chase, 6:45 countdown to kickoff with Jay Coombs and Cliff Pomeri. Now, let's head to the phones. We have Deputy Lynn on the phone right now to give us an update from the Sheriff's Department. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
Doing great, thanks. Tell us what's been going on in your department.
The last 24 hours, Sheriff's offices responded to 212 calls for service. There's been 19 arrests. Currently housed 171 in the county jail. On arrest reports, Betty Taylor was arrested for disorderly conduct, second-degree trespass, and was given a written promise to appear. Brian Wayne Wood was arrested for failure to comply, was given a $400 bond. Cody Tucker Lowe was arrested for failure to appear on a misdemeanor, was given a $1,000 secure bond. Anthony Lynn Gilliland was arrested for fictitious, canceled, revoked, or altered registration card or tag, was given a written promise to appear. Douglas Ryan Hipp was arrested for failure to comply. Looks like a child support activation of a 30-day sentence was applied. Christopher Allen Walker, arrested for larceny of a motor vehicle, possession of a stolen vehicle, and possession of Schedule II controlled substance, was given a $45,000 secure bond. And on instant reports, Donna McCraw Pruitt reported breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering. Looks like a yellow and gold diamond bridal ring set was taken, white gold diamond bridal ring set, and a mother's ring with 4 stones. Stephanie Ann Langley reported breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering. Looks like a Miller backpack welder, a garden pond, Harley-Davidson crash bars, a ready heater, and a tanning bed was taken. Joshua Dale Hallman reported breaking and entering, larceny after breaking and entering. Looks like Black & Decker power tools was taken, ceiling fans, and some vanity lights. James Samuel reported misdemeanor larceny. Looks like a dealer tag was taken. Shannon Shaw, breaking and entering, and larceny after breaking and entering. Looks like an Xbox, PlayStation, a bass guitar, a deer camera was taken. and Sonia Brown reported identity theft. And that's all I've got for you.
Deputy Lynn, thank you very much for that report, and you have a great weekend and be safe out there.
Thanks, sir. You have a good day.
All right, bye-bye.
Save-A-Lot Grocery, White Oak Plaza, Spindale has hundreds of super low prices on most of your favorite name brand items. They have 500 plus prices lowered across the entire store. Stock up on fresh meats, produce, frozen foods, snack foods, and your favorite beverages and pastries. Open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 9, Sunday, 10 to 8. Save-A-Lot Grocery, White Oak Plaza, Spindale.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Here is Marie now to give us an update from the Communications Center. Marie, how you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's on that report from the 24 hours?
Okay, in the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications Center has processed 524 911 and administrative calls, which consisted of 41 for EMS, 20 for rescue. For law enforcement, the Sheriff's Department had 212, Forest City had 76, Lake Lure had 1, Rutherford had 42, Spindale had 74. For fire calls, Ellenborough responded to a residential fire alarm, Green Hill responded to a motor vehicle accident, Rutherford responded to 2 motor vehicle accidents, and Spindale responded to an industrial fire alarm. That's all I have for the morning.
Thanks, Marie. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers of Sisk Family Ford. They have the proven record of the best deal. It's your place to shop for your truck. Get a good look at the selection of SUVs, Escapes, Edge, and Explorers. Sisk Family Ford can put you in the family car or truck of your choice any day you want to make a change. Try one on for a ride. Make your next deal a Sisk Family Ford deal. Shop local and get your best agreement for the next automobile. Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Mr. Friday Night will be talking with us a little after 8 o'clock this morning about tonight's lineup in high school football, what happened last week and tonight, and what he anticipates for this season. That'll come up a little after 8 o'clock this morning right here on the 100.9 FM, 590 AM, the best of both worlds. Now here is Ruby Taylor with our report from the Danieltown area, SDO Fire District. Ruby, good morning.
Good morning.
Tell us what's been going on over there.
Well, the fire department's been quiet. And on my birthday calendar today, I've got Caroline Hall and Ray Rice having birthday today and hope they have a nice day. Tomorrow, Bob Elliott is having a birthday and hope he has a nice day. Then Sunday, Alvin Buchanan is having a birthday and Mr. and Miss Chad Walter's anniversary and hope they have a nice day. The signs are in the boughs today and going to the range tomorrow and Sunday. And that's all I've got, Jim.
Ruby, you enjoy your weekend.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
If you haven't been to the Recliner Center lately, well, let me tell you, there's a lot of changes going on and a big secret, but that's going to be revealed later. But for now, I can reveal all the great merchandise that you'll find at the Recliner Center. You know, it's back to school time. That means a lot of time on the road, football, dance, basketball, and you still got a lot of yard work still yet to do, and your back is going to need all the help it can get. How about a new mattress from the Recliner Center? The kids are going to be bringing friends over. How about a redo in the family room? A new couch, love seat, rocker recliner, recliners from small to big boy sizes. Do you or a loved one have difficulty standing? Well, the Recliner Center has a great selection of different styles and colors of lift chairs. Some of these chairs allow you to be able to get your feet above your head, offering comfort, style, security, and standing, and locally owned and operated. That's the Recliner Center. They're on Coopers Gap Road in Rutherfordton. Don't forget the Recliner Center's new hours, Wednesday through Friday, 9 to 4, Saturdays, 9 to 2.
Our next radio reporter this morning is from Roman Ball. His name's Homer this morning. Homer, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How you doing?
We're doing good. How about you guys?
Doing great, Danny. Enjoying this weather.
Yeah, it's nice and cool. I like it so far.
Yeah, good. Should be a nice weekend in the mountains tonight, this weekend.
We're just talking about being up in the mountains, camping out, riding four-wheelers. We were just got to talking about that.
Great minds run together, huh?
Yeah, everybody thinks alike. Let's see here. We'll start with the weather. Currently, it looks like it was 64 at midnight. Currently, it's just a little 59. Very clear skies. Sun's starting to pop out. A few employees venturing in and out. Look like it's going to be a nice day. Got a few people venturing up from Florida because of the hurricanes going to blow through. A lot of people's getting out of the way. So between that and Labor Day weekend, it should be a pretty busy day at Roman Ball for the lake activities, just different lodging, all that. Should have a pretty packed crowd here for the Labor Day weekend. Trying to look, I don't have any breakfast or any announcements on the board. We're still getting reports of bears in the area pretty much daily, sometimes a couple times a day. So don't think the bears are going anywhere just yet.
Have the bears ever come down to your security gatehouse and looked in the window there?
It's funny you should mention that. Right across from where I'm standing is the administration building. I'm looking at it.
Yeah?
A bear was standing at the front door to the building. If somebody would open the door, I've got it on the desktop here on the computer.
Oh, my goodness.
A bear at the front door in broad daylight. We got it on video. We've got the picture of it. I've never seen that.
What about that? I tell
So
you.
that was pretty brave there. I've never seen that here.
Bears are getting a lot of nerve, aren't they? Just walk
They
right
sure
into the
are.
administration building.
Exactly.
Well, they wanted the room. They wanted to stay comfortable in the room and maybe go swimming in your swimming pool.
Yeah, I'm just glad nobody opened the door. Other than that, let's see. I got a wedding Sunday, 58 people, about 5:30. Should go pretty good. We got our outdoor pool, Lazy River. It's going to be closing for the season after Monday. So we got a little bit of activities going on. If you want to get breakfast or take a boat cruise, come on up to Rum and Bald. Like I said, we're going to be busy this Labor Day weekend. Hope everything's go good. Looks like it's going to so far. Other than that, that's about all that's on my books here today. Just hope everybody has a nice weekend and be safe.
Thanks, Homer. Hope you have a great weekend as well, and we hope folks will be safe as they travel. And we'll talk to you again next time.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Homer. Bye-bye. 726.
Southern Carpet is the showplace for your floor covering needs. For example, life-proof luxury vinyl plank and tile, waterproof, pet, and kid-friendly. Southern Carpet has all grades of carpet in stock for your home or apartment. Names like Shaw, Dreamweaver, Mohawk, Tarkett, IVC, and so much more. It's a showplace of quality carpet and floor covering. For the best selection in town, depend on Southern Carpet and get great installation prices. Come see Clayton or Jeff for your flooring needs. They'll floor you. 1512 West Main Street in Forest City and on the web at southerncarpet.net.
And we're checking in now with Bob Hodge over in the Hudlow Fire District. It's always a nice, friendly neighborhood over there. Bob, how you doing this morning?
Oh, we're doing just fine on this Friday morning.
Friday finally here. It's the last one we're going to have this month.
Well, it's finally here, but we got a nice morning out here this morning. It's cool, nice and cool for August here, but it'll warm up after a while. But at least it looks like we're going to have a good Labor Day weekend. It's going to be nice, and people get out and go around, I reckon, and
I believe it's going to be
whatever
nice.
they're going to do. So maybe that hurricane won't affect us there the last part of the weekend anyway, Labor Day weekend. So
Yeah, I hope it
looks
stays
like
out
it
in the
might-
water.
Look like it might hit Florida pretty hard down there, so might affect them down that way.
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of Florida folks are beginning to move out of there, come on up this way.
Yeah, we might get people from Florida up here over the weekend now. They might. So I guess a lot of them be moving out from down there in some of them places there, so they're moving back up this way somewhere to the hurricane passes there. But, Jim, everything's running along good up here this morning. It was quiet with the fire department overnight. And birthdays for Saturday, Amanda Mabrier, and for Sunday, Jonathan Owens. And, Jim, that's about it. And I hope you have a real good Labor Day weekend.
Bob, thank you very much. You and I, Dean, have a good one, too, and be safe. And I will talk to you again real soon.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. 29 minutes after 7 o'clock, and right now we still have a nice, pleasant temperature, 59 here at our studios in Rutherfordton. So it'll be warming up around 86 with light wind today. The humidity is kind of low, too, so I like that part.
People who know best know the wise shoppers go to Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply for several reasons. The prices are better, the choices are greater, and you will like the service you get. Right now, you can enjoy special pricing on assorted deer products. Also purchase fish mocks, 100 count, 250 milligram, only $15.99 at Farmer's Friend. Better pricing on value-packed dog food. George has used farm equipment you should see before you buy someplace else. Refill your 20-pound propane tank for $10.99. Now that's a great value. Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply, located 188 Whiteside Road, Rutherfordton.
When you need daycare services for your adult loved one, Rutherford Life Services is always there for a dependable and loving environment. Rutherford Life offers a place to go during the daytime for medical monitoring, nutritional meals, and creative activities. Caregivers can go to work knowing that their loved one is in a safe and reliable place. Rutherford Life is licensed by the North Carolina Division of Aging. Rutherford Life has a full staff of trained professionals who show love and support. Call them today and let them answer any questions you may have concerning adult daycare services. 828-288-1697 or visit the facility at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
We like to check in with the Cherry Mountain Fire District each morning, and Sue Price reports from over there. And good morning, Sue.
Good morning, Jim.
Welcome to Friday.
Yeah, it's a nice morning over here. Started out at 58 degrees, so it's nice out there right now. I'm enjoying these cooler days.
Me too.
I think everybody is. So we had some really hot weather along. But anyway, we'll probably have some more hot days, but we'll enjoy these while we've got them. Now, let's see. I don't have any calls from the fire department. We had our board meeting last night, and I don't reckon they'd had any calls. Got no birthdays on my calendar, church calendar for today. On my personal calendar, I've got Cliff Gaddis, so I hope Cliff will have a good day. Nothing on the other two calendars for today, so not too many celebrating over this way, but we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day today and enjoy it. And so far, that's about all I have, Jim. I have misplaced my announcement that I had, but maybe I'll find it later and have it for tomorrow. I don't know what I did with it. Anyway, we're just quiet and calm over this way, looking for a good day and good weekend, and I hope you and Faye will have a good Labor Day weekend.
Thanks. You and Richard have a good one, too, and enjoy it, and be careful.
All right.
I'll see you next time.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Well, this is, of course, the second week of high school football, and tonight East is at North Lincoln, RS is at Morgan and Patton, and Hickory Hawks comes to Thomas Jefferson, and Cherryville is at Chase. And that is our game of the week. The Cherryville Chase game, 6:45. Countdown to kickoff. It's Friday night. We'll be on the radio with me here in just a little while to talk about tonight's lineup. And I'll be back with our next phone call in just a moment.
When you call a pest control company, you want to make sure they have honest and dependable experience. Hutchins Pest Control has all those qualities and more. 45 years experience in pest control service, now including moisture control, waterproofing, mold remediation, dehumidification, and more. Get rid of mice, rats, wildlife, fire ants, bed bugs, and termites. Call today for residential and commercial service. 287-5171. Voted best of best for 9 years. That's Hutchins Pest Control.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
7:34. Let's head up toward Union Mills to get the Cali report. Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning. How are you on this fabulous Friday morning?
Just happy to be living to see another Friday.
Just happy as a lark.
Happy as a lark, that's right. I know you're not a big football fan, but Carolina kicks off with football this Saturday. The two Carolinas are going up against each other, North and South Carolina, and that'll be a game we have right here on the radio. First game of the season for the Tar Heels. I know you're a basketball person, not a football person.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of folks love football.
Oh, yeah, they do, and that's all right. You got all the seasons and all the different ball games and things, so that's good. But I'm a die-hard Tar Heel fan.
I know you are. Nothing wrong with that.
Nope, sure ain't. But now I will not be here tomorrow. I told Todd, and he said, you can't take tomorrow off. You didn't give a week's notice. I said, yes, I did. I told Jim way earlier I probably wouldn't be.
You do some more traveling, huh?
All right, we're going to go up around Cherokee and Bryson City and just wherever we decide to go tomorrow.
Oh, good. I hope you have a good trip and are careful. Listen, there's a beautiful little creek and picnic area there around Cherokee. If you happen to be there at lunchtime, take a picnic, sit out over that rustling water there. Yeah, it's really nice. You know what I'm talking about there in Cherokee?
I've been to Cherokee, but it's been, oh, goodness.
I'm not sure what
Probably
road that is, but it's one of the main roads you come into it.
Yeah. We wanted to take a picnic lunch, but my daughter's boyfriend said, no, there's too many good places to stop and eat. So that was out.
He wants to spend some money.
Well, let him spend it. That's right. Yeah. Let him spend it. But we hope everybody's having a good morning. I'm going to give all my birthdays and anniversaries all the way through Sunday. I've got 54 degrees on the front porch. Birthdays today, I've got Tim Lovelace, Lorraine Thompson, Charles, and Betty Jo Anderson, an anniversary. Tomorrow, I've got Rose Head and Ben Parton. Then on Sunday, I got Trish Harden, Ian Keeter, Elizabeth Alvarado, Billy Honeycutt, and Morgan Lowry. And on Round Hill today, it's Faye and Hubert Flynn's anniversary, and Matthew Nanny's birthday is tomorrow. And there's nothing for Sunday on Round Hill. So we hope all these people have a great old big day on their special day. And in ways of announcements, I should have been announcing this all week, but it got shuffled under, and I just remembered it. Gilkey School Community Center will have a buffet breakfast on Saturday the 31st, starting at 7 a.m. and going to 10 a.m. Adults, $6. Kids, 6 to 12, $3. Kids 5 and under, free. Money goes to help support the community center. And then the ROM reunion will be the second Sunday in September at Macedonia Baptist Church in McDowell County, and the meal will follow the morning worship service. Then we got special singing Sunday, September the 8th, 6 p.m., Purpose Quartet, Sugar Hill Baptist Church, 657 Mudcut Road, Marion, North Carolina, 28752. Everyone is invited, and I think that's got me covered.
You were asking me, I believe you were asking me about the reverse raffle tickets the Chamber sells every year. We are going to be doing that again. I found out yesterday that the Chamber will be selling those tickets and be available, I think, within a couple of days or so. Of course, they have the drawing at Thanksgiving night there in town, so folks have been asking me about those. And so now the word is out. They will be selling the reverse raffle tickets again this year. So.
And how much are they, $100?
I want to think they're $50, but I can't remember.
Okay.
I'll find out when I see the tickets, and I'll try to keep some here too, so folks want. I'm not on the Chamber board anymore. I rotated off, but I still stay in touch with the Chamber. I think it's such a vital part of it to our community. But we'll announce them when they're out, and folks can go ahead and get their tickets. A lot of money to be won.
That's right. That's exactly what somebody kept asking me, and I said, well, I don't know, but I'll ask Jim Bishop.
Yep.
He'll find out.
Yep. So the word is out that the raffle tickets will be sold.
So thank you for staying in touch.
Well, you have a great weekend and enjoy your trip and be careful.
Okay.
And
Catch you later.
watch out for the bars.
Oh, I know it. Yeah.
I'll see you, brother.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Catch you later.
39 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock here on WCAB's Morning Report. Another phone call coming up here in just a moment.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
You know, one of the best things you can do for a family member, if you begin to recognize that he or she is having difficulty hearing, one of the best things you can do for them is to nicely suggest they get that pre-hearing test at Miracle Ear. We sometimes don't want to admit those things, that we're getting to that point with our hearing, but it's not necessarily age that causes our hearing to go away. It could be industrial noise that's developed, loud music over the years, or any number of things, and it could be just impacting of earwax. So check that out, and if there is a need to move forward, please trust the folks at Miracle Ear. It's such a worldwide company, and the product is made right here in the good old US of A. And we've got a great team right here in the area to help you with that. Lisa Terry and her team at Miracle Ear, the best you can find. There's so many features you'll appreciate, too, about Miracle Ear. So ask Lisa Terry about it when you are ready for that positive change in your hearing. Far City office is 1512 West Main Street, Suite 102. And that phone number is 368-4126. And if you're going to be out and about this weekend or making some plans to do some visiting in different places, what you need to do now is make sure you check in at the drop-in. They got such great deals, and these are August specials that'll probably be ending here pretty soon. Enjoy the 20-ounce Dasani water price, only 99 cents. Get 28-ounce Powerade, two of those for $2. Save $1.50 on 2 large Powerades. And that pizza special you've been waiting is back now for a limited time in August. That's that Hunt Brothers Chicken Bacon Ranch Pizza. You've had that. I know you love it. Get it by the hunk or by a whole pizza. And remember, all Hunt Brothers whole pizzas are EBT eligible as well. And when in Boston, don't forget to sign up for free Filet Fridays. Every week, the Drop-In Family Mart gives away 2 filet steaks, 2 baked potatoes, and a bag salad to one lucky customer. They announced the winner yesterday on the call-in portion of this. So come on back in and get your supplies for your outdoor gatherings this weekend, and get all the drinks and the candies and your biscuits this morning for breakfast, and enjoy the friendly hometown flavor of the locally owned and locally operated Drop-In store. Come on, drop in. Let's check in now with Luther Gilligan. He's over in Ellenboro right now with our report from that part of the county. Luther Gilligan, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, too. It's a nice day down here. The sun's up, and I'm up. We're both raring to go.
Man, let's go somewhere.
We're gonna shine today.
All right.
Sun probably shine better than I will go. But it's a good day. It's quiet this morning. That's going on. Everybody just getting their coffee and their sandwich and heading on out to work, getting the week over, looking forward to another weekend. It's I probably had 2 medical calls yesterday. Had one fall on last night. Wrist ditch alarm going off with anything to it. Other than that, things are real quiet there. Just nothing happened. Don't remind everybody next Saturday the Southern Gospel Singing being here at the church. That started at 5 o'clock. They had the hot dog started at 4:30, so they wanted to invite it. They're going to do it out the church road. Just come on down and have a good time next Saturday. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. And nothing else happening here again. You have a great day up there. We'll talk to you next week. Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend, Luther. Be careful out there.
All right, take care.
Time for birthdays and anniversaries. This is the 30th day of the month. And it's Friday, and if you're celebrating a birthday, please call that in to us so we can celebrate with you, give you a chance to win some delicious Daylight Donuts from our good friends over at Granny B's Bakery. My, what good, delicious donuts those are. And one of you who was having a birthday could possibly win that. 287-3356, birthdays and anniversaries coming up next. At McCurry Deck Motors, you can browse a selection of vehicles that includes all of the top models in Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC lineups. The McCurry Deck Motors lineup of vehicles checks all the boxes, ensuring that they will have the perfect vehicle for any car shopper that visits their lot. Come visit and see what's in store for you and your family with the McCurry Deck quality reputation of fair deals and customer service. Try the Chevy. Find new roads with Chevy. At McCurry Deck Motors, we're the home of Chevy, Buick, and GMC. 1740 U.S. Highway 74A, Forest City. When choosing a hospital or a health system, you should ask what quality and patient safety efforts are being implemented in that organization. For example, at Rutherford Regional Health System, several new quality and patient safety initiatives have been set in place to ensure an even greater level of care for its patients. Under the guidance of the Due Quality Network, Rutherford Regional has begun bedside shift reporting, which emphasizes better face-to-face communication with patients and families. Patient safety huddles also have been started to allow caregivers the opportunity twice a day to review risks of infection, falls, and other harms. An executive patient safety rounding allows our administrators to make sure our clinical staff has the tools they need to deliver great care. Rutherford Regional is proud to make quality and patient safety its top priorities. That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today while they're fresh. They're good. They're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. Happy birthday. Well, happy birthday to Beatty Engel over in Forest City. Beatty's having a birthday today. Wishing her well. And Tim Lovelace is celebrating today. Lorraine Thompson and Charles and Betty Jo Anderson's anniversary is today. Want to wish all these folks a happy. Todd's on the phone even as we speak, writing down birthdays, and we'll get those from him in just a moment. Let's see, Chase Cottonoff is 18, a senior at Thomas Jefferson. Having a birthday. Grady Skipper over in Shiloh's having a birthday. Jeff and Brenda McIntyre, it's their 34th wedding anniversary. They live in Rutherford. Jim Crowder over in Forest City celebrating. Hubert and Faye Flynn up in Union Mills having an anniversary. Ray Rice in Forest City celebrating a birthday. Violet Callie up in is 96 over in the Sandy Mush area. And Jace Cook of Kaiser's having a birthday today. And I believe that's the entire list of folks celebrating today. And we'll find out who gets to enjoy those donuts in just a moment. There's the phone ringing again. There must be another one coming in late, but maybe we can get that one in too. Isaiah Wilson is 9 years old today, lives over in Landrum, South Carolina, so happy birthday to Isaiah.
When going through difficult times, we often overreact to our circumstances. We tend to think things are worse than they are. We complain that the lights have all gone out when only one bulb was burned out. A pastor was calling on a man who had experienced some severe financial losses. The man was disconsolate and seemingly crushed by his reverses. "Everything is gone," the man exclaimed. "There is nothing left." The pastor knew that wasn't totally true, but it looked that way to the man at the moment. Out of frustration, the pastor said to the man, "I'm sorry to hear that your wife is dead." Pausing long enough to let that statement sink in, the pastor continued, "And I'm sure sorry that you have lost your character." The pastor continued, listing a number of valuable assets the man had not lost. The man exclaimed that he had not lost his wife or his character or any of these other things. "But I thought you had lost everything," the clergyman asked. The light began to dawn in the man's mind. While he had lost a lot, He had not lost everything. In fact, he had not even lost the things that were the most valuable. You may be going through tough times right now and feel everything is gone. Before you throw in the towel, please examine what you have left. It may be more than you think. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living. Scripts for these programs are sold in book form by calling toll-free 1-888-333-KEYS.
And a big congratulations going out to our donut winner this morning, and it's Jace Cook over in Kaiser. Jace Cook, our Kaiser winner this morning. So we'll have a certificate over here. Good little ways from Kaiser, but maybe you can stop over by here and pick that up and get those donuts. So donuts are worth coming after, I'll tell you for sure. Jace Cook, our winner this morning. Now coming up next hour, Mr. Friday Night. You know him. Name's Jay Coombs. Mr. Friday Night will be giving us a report about high school football action for tonight. What he sees about the action this evening, and we'll talk with him in just a little while, right here live exclusively on WCAB. Hometown Sports, right here. Meanwhile, we're going to entertain you with some of Walking Down Memory Lane.
They say the neon lights are bright on Broadway. They say there's always magic in the air. But when you're walking down that street and you ain't had enough to eat, the glitter is right off and you're nowhere. They say the girls are something else on Broadway, but looking at them just gives me the blues. 'Cause how you gonna make some time when all you got is 1 thin dime, and 1 thin dime won't even shine your shoes? They say that I won't last too long on Broadway. I'll catch a Greyhound bus for home, they all say. But oh, they're wrong, I know they are, 'cause I can play this here guitar, and I won't pretend I'm a star on Broadway. Oh, they're wrong, I know they are, 'cause I can play this here guitar, and I won't pretend I'm a star on Broadway. On Broadway, I'm gonna make it, yeah. I'll be a big, big, big man. I'll have my naked lights.
Break it to me gently. Let me down the easy way. Make me feel that you still love me. If it's just for one more day. Break it to me gently, so my tears Let me love you till the last. The love we shared for oh so long is such a big part of me. If you must take your love away, take it gradually. Oh, break it to me gently. Give me time, or give me a little time to ease the pain. Love me just a little longer, 'cause I'll never, never love again. 'Cause I'll never love again. Never love again.
Blue moon, you saw me standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Blue moon, you knew just what I was there for. You heard me saying a prayer for someone I really could care for. And then there suddenly appeared before me, the only one my arms would ever hold. I heard somebody whisper, please adore me. And when I looked, the moon had there to go. Oh, blue moon, now I'm no longer alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Blue moon.
I want you to tell me why you walked out on me. I'm so lonesome every day. I want you to know that since you walked out on me, nothing I'm so lonesome.
More music, WCAB.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. With Hurricane Dorian setting its sights on Florida, the head of FEMA says
we encourage families, individuals to take preparation seriously. The clock is ticking.
Acting FEMA Chief Pete Gaynor speaking to ABC News. ABC's Gio Benitez is in Florida right now.
All across the state of Florida, it's a race against time for more than 17 million people in the path of Hurricane Dorian. Residents rushing to stores and gas stations overnight, loading up on food, bottled water, and gas.
I already went to like 5 different stores. Nobody have water nowhere.
Residents in Davie waiting in a line that wraps around the store, hoping to scoop up the last of those precious goods. Inside Home Depot, materials dwindling. Many met with empty shelves.
ABC News meteorologist Rob Marciano says
it's a Category 2 storm now and on the verge of becoming a Category 3 storm just north of the Turks and Caicos Islands. 85, 86 degree water temperatures there, so it's got plenty of fuel to fire this thing.
Forecasters now expecting it will be a strong Category 4 storm when it blows ashore on Florida's east coast early Tuesday morning. Several reports now say e-cigarette maker Juul is facing new investigations over its marketing and how it may have targeted kids. Officials from several states and the FTC are taking a look. New research has found a connection between genetics and sexuality. The study in the journal Science points to several genetic variants, but Emily Conley with 23andMe warns
the results here are not predictive in the sense that someone would not be able to take your DNA and scan it and then predict from there what your sexual behavior is likely to be.
Due in court today, a College of Southern Nevada student who was arrested on campus with a rifle and thousands of rounds of ammunition. He told police he forgot it was all in his car. And in Brooklyn, a 19-year-old is expected to face federal judge after accused of trying to hatch a terror plot inspired by ISIS. Officers say he was trading messages with an undercover agent. You're listening to ABC News.
There's nothing like meeting face-to-face, and there's nothing like Zoom to make that happen. Zoom lets you connect and do business across town or around the world. Zoom ties together all of your communication needs into one easy platform for video conferencing, phone calls, group chat, webinars, and your conference rooms. Connect easily from anywhere, your mobile phone, your laptop, or conference room. Zoom is how business gets done. Get your free account at Zoom.com today. Meet happy with Zoom.
Hi, I'm Jen. I'm a dog person.
I'm Clara, and I'm a cat person.
As a dog person, I wear Bobs for Dogs from Skechers because with every pair sold, Skechers makes a donation to the Petco Foundation to help save sheltered dogs.
As a cat person, I wear Bobs because they've already saved over 240,000 sheltered pets, including cats.
But I like that you can find Bobs at over 600 Petco stores.
I prefer to buy them online at Skechers.com.
Let's just agree that we both like Bobs.
Agreed.
Bobs for Dogs from Skechers. Available at Petco, Skechers, and wherever stylish shoes are sold.
Boy Scouts of America facing a growing wave of lawsuits over sexual assault allegations.
A lawyer representing 150 people who say they were sexually abused as Boy Scouts is planning a suit in New Jersey when the state's new civil statute of limitations law takes effect December 1st. The lawsuits raise the possibility that the Boy Scouts, one of the largest youth organizations in the U.S., might be staring at many millions of dollars in settlements or judgments that could lead it to declare bankruptcy. An attorney planning the New Jersey lawsuit said the Boy Scouts are going to have to come to grips with the issues of their past. The Boy Scouts said it apologizes to the victims and encourages them to report abuse to law enforcement. Todd Ant, ABC News.
iPhone users are now going to have more options when it comes to getting their phones fixed. Here's ABC's Daria Albinger.
Need to get your iPhone fixed? You may not need to take it to an Apple store or one of the tech giant's authorized service providers. Apple says it's going to sell tools and parts to independent phone repair shops across the U.S. and eventually around the world. While the shop doesn't need to be Apple certified, at least one technician who works there does. Repairs at the independent shops will also be limited to Apple products that are already out of warranty. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
A Georgia probation officer has resigned after she let a friend borrow her badge and gun in order to get free snacks from a convenience store in Gwinnett County. The friend is now facing charges accused of impersonating an officer. This is ABC News.
Brought to you by Attorney Tax. If you're in trouble with the IRS and owe at least $10,000 in back taxes, listen to this important public announcement. The IRS is now offering a special program called the Fresh Start Initiative, which can offer significantly reduced settlements that can reduce your liability by thousands of dollars. If you're approved and qualified, the IRS will stop the collections against you. Get the help you need by calling the Consumer Hotline, 800-333-9896, 800-333-9896.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Well, we did make it to Friday. We've got the holiday weekend ahead of us, and it's hard to believe it's the unofficial end of summer. Where did summer go? Now, later today, it's sunny, it's warmer, feeling like summer with upper 80s, but the humidity is still in check. Tonight, clear and comfortable, the low temperature in the low to mid 60s. Tomorrow, it's sunny, it's warm, but the humidity begins to creep back up. The high temperatures again in the upper 80s, and we're going with a 20% chance for rain on Sunday. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Well, I love the kind of talk he's talking. Sunny weekend. Sunny highs around 86 today here in the foothills. Around us, clear tonight with lows around 61. All the way through Sunday, it looks like it's going to be really, really nice. Scattered showers possibly on Monday, only a 20% chance, 20% chance on Tuesday, and Wednesday and Thursday next week, 40%. But Labor Day weekend is going to be one for the records. It's going to be kind of nice. Again, right now, 59 degrees here at WCAB Rutherfordton. Congratulations to Jace Cook over at Kaiser. Jace has won the Daylight Donuts this morning. Congratulations to him. Now we have Mr. Friday Night on the phone coming up to talk to us about tonight's lineup and what's expected for this season. And that's coming up right after this.
Hello from all of us at Smith's Drugs in downtown Forest City. Check out our newly remade website at smithsdrugsfc.com and see how you can download our mobile app to make refilling your prescription so easy. You can create multiple profiles for everyone in your family and send refill notices anytime, saving you from calling in or leaving messages. Check out our Facebook page and see new items from the gift shop and on-sale items that can include t-shirts, leggings, shoes, toys, and other seasonal gifts. Our home medical equipment department at Smith's Drugs has all of your CPAP therapy needs for supplies that include filters, tubings, and masks, as well as our 2 respiratory therapists to help you get the full benefits of your CPAP and answer any questions or concerns that you are having. We also have lift chairs, diabetic shoes, and offer mastectomy services here at Smith's Drugs. Also, we have daily specials in our old-fashioned soda fountain at just $3.99 for breakfast and $5.99 for lunch. And we can help you with some fried pound cake and ice cream or milkshakes for dessert. We also want to thank all of Rutherford County for your loyal support and trust that has allowed us to serve you since 1939. Thank you to Rutherford County and Forest City from all of us at Smith's Drugs at 139 East Main Street.
It's 8:07. It's Friday in the foothills. It's the 30th day of August, and Mr. Friday Night is on the radio with me right now to talk about football. Good morning, Jay Combs. How are you doing?
Well, doing pretty good, Jim, and looking forward to week number 2 tonight.
Boy, what a great night for football, too, weather-wise. It's going to be fantastic.
I think we're going to get lucky this week. Looks like the weather's going to cooperate. We got lucky in the county last week, but a number of games in the area were postponed due to some of the thunderstorms in the vicinity, but did not affect any of our games last week. And wow, what a great way to kick off the season. RS Central collecting the win against McDowell last Friday night, our feature game of the week. Good win for the Hilltoppers, 20-12 over the Titans. And tonight they make a road trip up to Morganton to take on the Patton Panthers. Now, Patton had a rough time last week. They opened up with North Buncombe. They got beat by 42 points, losing that game 62-20. Last year, Patton defeated the Hilltoppers 23-7, but we'll see if the Hilltoppers can turn the tables tonight up in Morganton. Be great to see the Hilltoppers start off 2-0. Have 3 other teams in the county involved in action tonight. East Rutherford, wow. Somebody must have wanted to check all of the lights on the scoreboard up at West Henderson last week. It was an offensive show deluxe. Unfortunately for the Cavaliers, ended up a couple of touchdowns short, but they put up 98 points total in that game last Friday night. West Henderson defeating the Cavaliers 56-42. Tonight, East will travel up to North Lincoln to take on the Knights, who had to go to overtime last week. They were defeated by Parkwood by a score of 29-22. Now, this is the first time, at least in recent history, in the past 24, 25 years, that East has faced North Lincoln in football. So it will be a road game tonight for both Central and for East Rutherford. Thomas Jefferson. Well, the Griffins did not get to open up the season last week as they had expected to. Charlotte Commonwealth could not make the trip. Had some problems, some insurance issues came into play. The team was not allowed to travel and not allowed to play. Therefore, the Griffins were sitting at home last Friday night. Thought they were going to get to play, but nope, the season got delayed for a week. And tonight in Avondale, they will open up their season hosting the Hickory Hawks. Hickory Hawks also have not played yet this year, so this will be the first game of the season for both the Hawks and the Griffins. First time that these two teams have ever played each other. And, of course, I always like to give props to head coach Jerry Cash at TJ, who now has a total of 337 career wins, and he is now starting his 8th year at TJ, 67-23 in the previous 7 years at TJ. Our featured game of the week will be at Allen Stadium tonight. Hey, if nothing else, you need to come out to Allen Stadium tonight to take a look at how they have fixed up the field, have done a phenomenal paint job tonight. It looks super sharp. And the Chase Trojans, who collected their win last week against Bessemer City, 28-10, that was their first opening win in 6 years. Good way to start off the season. Tonight they will be at home hosting Cherville, and the Ironmen come in a 43-20 conference win last week against Christ the King. Should be a great game tonight. Cherville at Chase. All of our games tonight with 7:30 kickoffs. We'll take to the airwaves tonight at 6:45. Our feature game tonight, Cherville at Chase. They do have a farm theme tonight, so pull out your overalls, pull out your best-looking farm outfit, head on out to Chase tonight. The motto is protect the farm. So Chase tonight hosting Cherville.
Jay, I went on their website and I saw the footage that was filmed of last week's game, and that really turned out really well, and folks can get the highlights of the game. I believe they're going to do that every week. Is that right?
We hope to be able to provide that every week during the season. One of my students over at the college, Aldo Serrani, is working on his internship. Aldo did a fantastic job for his first time ever shooting high school football video highlights. And what we are doing each week, now because of the holiday on Monday, it will probably be Tuesday before we'll be able to upload tonight's highlights. But we're uploading that on the WCAB YouTube channel. We're also putting it up on our Isothermo Community College YouTube channel. But wow, yeah, I was impressed. Have had a lot of comments this week from people who are like, wow, now you've got some video highlights too.
Yeah, that look good.
I'm like, yeah, we're simply expanding as the years go along.
Yeah. I talked with a gentleman this week who was thanking us for carrying the games again and thanking us for having it on our website. That he said sometimes I'm out of the area and I can pull it up on the website and listen to the game as it's being done live there on the website at www.wcab59.com.
Or, if folks cannot remember that, also available at WCABfootball.com. So, Either link will take you to the live broadcast tonight.
There you go. Jay Coombs, I appreciate you being on with us. Appreciate the good job you're doing. We look forward to hearing the game tonight, and we'll talk to you again next Friday morning.
Yep, and don't forget, follow us on both Twitter and Facebook. It's simple, WCAB Football. We're there.
Have a good weekend, Jay.
Thanks, Jim.
That's Jay Coombs, Mr. Friday Night. It's 8:14 now. We'll have that Sheriff's Report with Deputy Lynn coming up here in just a few minutes.
This summer, Bark Mobile has a whole lot of free stuff for you. For starters, how about the awesome Moto G7 Play smartphone for free when you switch to our unlimited data plan for just $50 a month? And that's not all. You'll also receive 1 month of free service. This deal can't be beat. Switch to Bark Mobile today for your free Moto G7 Play smartphone and 1 month of free service. Bark Mobile. Mobile made easy. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
More than 1 million Americans have heart attacks each year, and if you or a loved one experiences symptoms of a heart attack, every second matters. Heart attack symptoms include discomfort, heaviness, or pain in the chest, arm, or below the breastbone. You may also experience sweating, nausea, dizziness, weakness, anxiety, or shortness of breath. At the first sign of a heart attack, you should call 911 and be treated immediately at the nearest hospital. The best time to treat a heart attack is within 1 to 2 hours of the first onset of symptoms. That's why the Emergency Department at Rutherford Regional Health System has become a chest pain accredited facility. That means quality care here at home that could save precious seconds when treating the symptoms of heart attack. To learn more about Rutherford Regional and its commitment to save quality care, visit myrutherfordregional.com.
Do you need some extra money in your pocket? Try Insurance Service Associates, your local independent agent. We can shop your auto and home insurance with several companies to get you better coverage and the best rate. Insurance Service Associates at 127 East Trade Street in Forest City for auto, home, or commercial insurance. More choices, better coverage, best rate. That's Insurance Service Associates, 245-5301.
With hits like Six Pack Summer and Just Another Day in Paradise, Bill Vassar is bringing his Hysteria Tour to the Foundation in Spindale on September 7th. Bill Vassar's Hysteria Tour. Tickets available now at foundationshows.org.
Be sure to get your tickets early. This show is going to be a good one there at the Foundation. Box office there, get your tickets. Hey, listen, it's underway already. Started about 7 o'clock this morning and will continue up until about 1 o'clock today. That's the Big Huge basement sale. When I say big, huge, I guess that means it's really huge, right? Big, huge basement sale this weekend through Monday, 3630 Whiteside Road, Forest City. 7 a.m. until 1 o'clock daily. You can fill up a box for $5. Well, you'd say, Jim, I don't have a box. Well, not to worry, my good friends. Boxes are being provided, and everyday items are good to go. There'll be additional items for sale, too. Large basement is full and ready to go home with you. Cash or debit cards are accepted. No checks, please. So please come by and take a really look at this huge basement sale. Look for yard signs. That's up at 3630 Whiteside Road, right across from Wilson Baptist Church. Well, Isothermal Community College has announced that Stephen Matheny is now Chief Operating Officer of Isothermal College. He was appointed last week, or maybe this week. President Walter Dolan said the move is primarily a result of the fact that he was elected to head the North Carolina Association of Community College Presidents, a post he knows will keep him on the road frequently. And Matheny is a lifelong resident of Rutherford County, a graduate of Chase High School. He's also a pastor and most recently served as New Bethel Baptist Church in Harris. Before he came to Isothermal, he worked in finance and accounting in the private sector for companies like Bendinger Corporation in Spartanburg. So congratulations to Stephen Matheny, named Isothermal's COO. Announced the coup. Another time for you to visit with the representative from the Congressman Patrick McHenry's office is today. Patrick McHenry's staff will hold office hours today from 2 until 5 at the Rutherfordton Town Hall on Main Street, Rutherford. And I think they're going to be in Polk County 9 o'clock until maybe 12 over in Polk County today. But they're in Rutherfordton from 2 until 5 today. Roger Kumpf, McHenry's regional director for Rutherford County will be able to meet with constituents who have issues with federal agencies, including Social Security, Veterans Affairs, and Immigration. He will also be there to listen to any concerns that constituents have with federal policy or pending legislation before Congress. Coombe said he will then relay those concerns to Congressman McHenry. Congressman McHenry's staff holds regular office hours in each county of the 10th District. So keep that in mind if you want to go talk with him. Opportunity to do that. We're keeping you updated throughout today with our networks. Hurricane Dorian grows in power. It could hit the Florida coast as a Cat 4. So if you have friends and neighbors there, you may want to stay in touch with them. Leaving lighter than expected damage in its wake in Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. The second hurricane of the 2019 season moved toward USA, with forecasters warning it will draw energy from the warm, open waters as it closes in. President Trump canceled his weekend trip to Poland and warned Florida residents to be prepared. With the storm's track still unclear, no immediate mass evacuations were ordered, but folks who know about the velocity and the strength of those kind of things are leaving. Some of them are leaving the Florida coast, and many of them are coming to North Carolina, staying up here at the Rumbling Falls. And we hope everybody's safe and nobody loses property because of Dorian. Deputy Lynn gave us the report from the Sheriff's Office this morning, and we recorded it for broadcast at this time. And here's Deputy Lynn.
Last 24 hours, Sheriff's Office has responded to 212 calls for service. There's been 19 arrests. Currently houses 171 in the county jail. On arrest reports, Ben Taylor was arrested for disorderly conduct, second-degree trespass, and was given a written promise to appear. Brian Wayne Wood was arrested for failure to comply, was given a $400 bond. Cody Tucker Lowe was arrested for failure to appear on a misdemeanor, was given a $1,000 secure bond. Anthony Lynn Gilliland was arrested for fictitious, canceled, revoked, or altered registration card or tag, was given a written promise to appear. Douglas Ryan Hipp was arrested for failure to comply. Looks like child support activation of a 30-day sentence was applied. Christopher Allen Walker, arrested for larceny of a motor vehicle, possession of a stolen vehicle, and possession of Schedule II controlled substance, was given a $45,000 secure bond. And on incident reports, Donna McCraw Pruitt reported breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering. Looks like a yellow and gold diamond bridal ring set was taken, white gold diamond bridal ring set, and a mother's ring with 4 stones. Stephanie Ann Langley reported breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering. Looks like a Miller backpack welder, a garden pond, Harley-Davidson crash bars, a ready heater, and a tanning bed was taken. Joshua Dale Hallman reported breaking and entering, larceny after breaking and entering. Looks like Black & Decker power tools was taken, ceiling fans, and some vanity lights. James Samuel reported misdemeanor larceny. Looks like a dealer tag was taken. Shannon Shaw, breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering. Looks like an Xbox, PlayStation, a bass guitar, a deer camera was taken. And Sonia Brown reported identity theft, and that's all I've got for you.
Thank you, Deputy Lynn, for that report from the Sheriff's Department. We appreciate them being available to talk with us about those kind of things. Hey, I don't know if you heard yesterday's interview or not with Rachel Thomas, the Register of Deeds, but again, I want to bring this forward. There is a scam alert out there, and they want to notify all residents of a current scam targeting the elderly and new homeowners in Rutherford County. The notice is being mailed to residents asking for a large amount of money to obtain recorded documents. This company is not authorized by any government office and is not endorsed by the Register of Deeds office. Copies of recorded documents can be obtained through the Register of Deeds office. So just call the office with any questions and concerns if you receive this notice, other similar mailings as well. So you don't need to honor these folks who are trying to scam you. Just report it, hang up and report them. Don't send them any money whatsoever. What they send you a form and they tell you they want $86 a service fee, and I want you to respond by a certain time. Well, you don't need to do that. You can get any kind of form, public information at the Register of Deeds office. So don't fall for those scams. Anything that you have questions about before you react to it, contact an official, contact the Sheriff's Department or the Register of Deeds, the Clerk of Court, or whoever the case may be before you dive into something like that and lose your money. Well, a report also came out in Thursday's edition of the Daily Courier that ACR targets 2020 to resume full operations. American Zinc Recycling has targeted the first quarter of 2020 before its Rutherford County plant regains full strength since a fire in April disrupted their operations. AZR has been on throttle since an April 28th blaze caused extensive damage, but looks like they're going to be ready to go by next year, and they're already beginning to hire folks. So that's good news. They're going to be with us for a while. Sports Update is coming up here in just a moment.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. Let the games begin. College football last night, and Clemson looked like the same dominant team that captured last year's national championship. Travis Etienne ran for a career-high 205 yards and 3 scores, including 1 for 90 yards, the longest rushing touchdown in program history. The Tigers opened the season with a 52-14 pounding of Georgia Tech.
Just trust my O-line. I just trust in those guys. They're going to go out there and do their job each and every week. And I got great receivers that block downfield. Just the guys that have around me, just really a great setup for me. And I couldn't ask for a better group of guys to be out there with.
In other top 25 action, number 12 Texas A&M hammered Texas State 41-7. 14th ranked Utah reached the end zone off 3 BYU turnovers in a 30-12 decision over the Cougars. NC Central opening the season last night on the road in Clarksville, Tennessee, going against Austin Peay. The Governors rolled NC Central 41-10. The college football season opener for Boise State and Florida State will be played tomorrow at Tallahassee instead of Jacksonville. The move is due to the threat of Hurricane Dorian, which is expected to slam the Jacksonville area. The game has also been moved to a noon start 7 hours before it was originally scheduled. The Carolina Panthers wrapped the preseason last night at home with a win over the Steelers 25-19. Number 2 quarterback Kyle Allen only played 1 series, leading a respectable drive that ended with a blocked field goal. He then gave way to rookie Will Greer, who had an uneven night. He had 189 yards passing, 1 touchdown, but he also gave up the ball twice. That led to 2 Steelers scores.
They had their moments. They didn't have everybody out there either, so, but for the most part, they had their moments, and that's what you wanted to see.
And as far as who will be the number 2 quarterback when the regular season begins next week?
We're going to have our best guy out there that we feel. Again, we're gonna, we'll start putting our team together.
Rivera and the coaching staff now facing down the barrel of the league rules. Every team in the NFL has to have their roster cut from 90 to 53 this weekend. This is NCN Sports.
The annual Big Tailgate Tour, driven by Continental Tire, is on the road again.
Our Big Tailgate Tour kicks off this Saturday with ECU at NC State. Find our game day tents, prizes, and Continental Tire Toss from 9 to 11:30 a.m. at Backyard Bistro before the noon kickoff.
Pick up free koozies, t-shirts, and more from Sport Clips and Continental Tire. Remember to drive with care on your Continental tires and experience the ultimate MVP haircut at Sport Clips.
Tailgate with us, BigTailgateTour.com.
You're no stranger to hard work. If you were, you wouldn't be here. But is here really where you want to be? Whether you're done just making ends meet, ready to start a new career, or want to go farther in the one you have, North Carolina community colleges are ready for you. They have the courses, real-world learning opportunities, and partnerships with local businesses to get you the education you need and the career you want. Stop settling. Choose a higher education focused on getting you hired. North Carolina Community Colleges, your higher education.
A pair of American women highlighted Thursday's U.S. Open action. The story from AP correspondent Graham Agars.
23-year-old qualifier Taylor Townsend has produced a career-best win, reaching the US Open third round with a dramatic upset over the 4th-seed Simona Halep. Townsend toughed out a 2-hour and 4-minute battle, securing it in a third-set tiebreaker to post the biggest women's championship upset so far. The 15-year-old phenom Coco Gauff took another huge step on the international tennis stage, reaching a third-round showdown with defending champion Naomi Osaka.
Obviously, she's an amazing player. I mean, she's defending champion. She's won 2 slams. She's number 1 and she's only 21, so we're both pretty young.
John Isner also advanced, as did Rafael Nadal. Graham Agars, New York.
Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Well, we did make it to Friday. We've got the holiday weekend ahead of us, and it's hard to believe it's the unofficial end of summer. Where did summer go? Now, later today, it's sunny, it's warmer, feeling like summer with upper 80s, but the humidity is still in check. Tonight, clear and comfortable, the low temperature in the low to mid 60s. Tomorrow, it's sunny, it's warm, but the humidity begins to creep back up. The high temperatures again in the upper 80s, and we're going with a 20% chance for rain on Sunday. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Thanks very much, Mike Mays. We are 61 right now, 61 degrees, warming up to 86. We started out this morning at 59 at 5:30, already up to 61, so it'll be climbing pretty fast now that the sun is out, and it looks like the weekend's going to be kind of nice. Mostly sunny all weekend, 86 tomorrow. On Sunday, 83, and the rain returns maybe slightly, about 20% chance Sunday night, and only a 20% chance on Monday. So it looks like the Labor Day weekend is going to be almost perfect for outdoor activities. So go on that picnic and have some fun. Walk in the park or something. Stroll on the park with somebody you love and hold her hand a little bit. It's 8:30. This is WCAB. Don't forget high school football action this evening, 6:45. Jay Coombs on the radio along with Cliff Palmieri. And we want to congratulate Jace Cook over in Kaiser. Jace won the birthday donuts this morning. So happy birthday to Jace Cook from Kaiser. Welcome to the Word of Faith Responds. This series of programs will address the issues concerning the negative news reports. This program is paid for by Word of Faith, and the views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the management and staff of WCAB. Now here is Word of Faith Responds.
Good morning. On this beautiful morning in Rutherford County, it's good to be with you this morning on Word of Faith Speaks Out, Word of Faith Responds, and I know you've been blessed by the testimonies, the teaching of the Word of God, and it's an honor to be with you this morning, and I'm going to be talking about the signs of the times and the hour we're living in today. I've talked to so many people in the last years that have said, what is happening all over the world? What's happening in our nation? What's happening? And you know, if you look at history, the 20th century, we made so many discoveries, put a man on the moon, and unbelievable discoveries in technology and all kinds of things that happen. But the 20th century goes down in the history books as the bloodiest, most murderous century of the world. We had to come up with a new word in the 20th century that described what was taking place. And Winston Churchill during World War II said, we've got a crime here that we don't even have a name for it. And so there wasn't a language on the face of the earth that could describe what we saw in World War II with Hitler's planned extermination of the Jewish people. Over 6 million Jews murdered, a continent almost taken over by one man. Of course, he had lots of willing helpers that helped him with the final solution. And we read the history books, we look at what happened. You talk to a World War II veteran, we're losing them very quickly. But they will tell you that they couldn't even believe what they saw with those that were in Europe and did the final assault into Germany. They cannot believe what they saw in those camps. One veteran told me, he said, that image of what I saw in those camps has stayed with me all of my life. And most people say, I can't believe that happened. I can't believe this. Well, it did happen. And so we've had unbelievable historical events take place. We saw a genocide in Rwanda, 800,000 to 1 million people murdered in 100 days. We saw a genocide in Cambodia. The Cambodians murdered 20% of their population. 1 out of every 5 Cambodians was dead at the end of the wicked rule of Pol Pot in Cambodia in the 70s. So we saw things that are just staggering, that human beings are capable of these kinds of crimes. They tell us that the Holocaust was a watershed event. It changed the history of the world. And the historians say, do you know why it changed the history of the world? Because now we know what human beings are capable of. And that historical event in World War II, with the extermination of the Jewish people, the extermination of other human beings, at the end of 1945, our military and our government could have said, the war's over, let's go home. But we couldn't. We stayed and we held the Nazis accountable to their crimes in a court of law. It was from that trial and from the continuing trials that were held at Nuremberg that we gained an understanding of human rights. They studied civilizations and they said, in every civilization that's ever existed, murder was wrong. And so we held them to the code of law and ethics for internationally and held the trials. I wish I could say that what happened in the Holocaust, what happened in World War II, it's over, we've never seen it again. But today, anti-Semitism, the hatred for the Jew, is at the same level in Europe and in our own country as it was during World War II. One of the most powerful prophetic signs of the Bible is the return of the Jewish people to Israel, back to the Holy Land in 1948. That is absolutely miraculous that took place. And I'm going to talk some more about that as we continue studying about the signs of the times today and possibly again on Monday, to look at what happened and how absolutely miraculous the return of the Jewish people was to Israel. I want to start with a scripture this morning in Matthew 16, where Jesus said something that was really amazing. The Pharisees and Sadducees, I'll start in verse 1, came to Jesus. They asked him to show them a sign, a spectacular miracle from heaven, attesting to his divine authority. Give us a sign of who you are. He replied to them, when it is evening, you say, it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning, it will be stormy today, for the sky is red and has a gloomy, threatening look. He said, you know how to interpret the appearance of the sky, but he said, you cannot interpret the signs of the times. One of the major themes of the Bible is prophecy. We understand the Bible says you can know yourself according to the scriptures. We can know what's happening today according to the scriptures. And there is so much in the Bible that talks about prophecy and prophecy fulfilled. If you've looked at the scriptures in the Old Testament that talked about the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ to this earth to be the sacrifice for our sins, it was prophetically foretold details about his life and the time that he would come to the earth. If you remember when Joseph and Mary walked into the temple in Jerusalem, holding baby Jesus in their arms, there was a prophetess, a prayer warrior named Anna, and another man who was a man of prayer and understanding, Simeon, who knew exactly who this little baby was. One historian told me that there would have been hundreds of babies coming into the temple to be dedicated unto the Lord. And here this little baby comes in the arms of Mary and Joseph, and these two dedicated ministers in the temple knew exactly who he was. About a quarter of the Bible is filled with prophecy and the fulfillment of prophecy. We can look at history and historical events in the nations and put our Bible right beside it and look at the fulfillment of the times. Look at what is happening. In the 1800s, there were people that began to have a stirring in their heart that it was time for the Jewish people to go back to Israel. Now, I want to show you in Luke 19, and this is such a powerful scripture, because if you've studied ancient history, or if you want to go look up AD 70, that's approximately 30 to 35 years after Jesus was crucified, buried, resurrected, and ascended back into heaven. But while he was here during his earthly ministry, he said something that still shocks Bible scholars today because of the accuracy of what Jesus said. Excuse me. And this is when Jesus, in Luke 19, he approached the city of Jerusalem. And the Bible says he wept audibly over it. The Son of God wept over the city of Jerusalem, that, by the way, the Bible calls the city of God. Jerusalem is mentioned over 700 times in the Bible. And this is what Jesus said. He said, exclaiming, "Would that you had known personally, even at least in this your day, the things that make for peace, for freedom from all the distresses that are experienced as a result of sin, upon which your peace, security, safety, and prosperity depend. But now they're hidden from your eyes." And look what he says in verse 43. "For a time is coming upon you when your enemies will throw up a bank with pointed stakes about you and surround you and shut you in on every side." What was he talking about? What did that mean? And then he says, "They will dash you down to the ground, you, Jerusalem, and your children within you, and they will not leave you one stone upon another. All because you did not come to progressively to recognize and know and understand from observation and experience the time of your visitation. That is, when God was visiting you, the time in which God showed himself to you gracious and offered you salvation through Jesus Christ." Now we know in the New Testament, in the book of John, the 1st chapter, Jesus said he came among his own, and his own would not receive him. And we can read what happened with the Jewish people. But it is absolutely incredible and a fulfillment of the Word of God that in AD 70, the Roman legions marched on Jerusalem and totally destroyed it. This is why the Jewish people today do not have a temple in Jerusalem. They have one part of the wall that's left where they pray. And exactly what Jesus said in Luke 19 happened in AD 70. It's one of the major events of ancient history and one of the major events of biblical times. And you can look that up and see what happened. And from that place in AD 70, the Jewish people were dispersed all over the world. It's called the diaspora, because many times you find the Jewish people in Russia, Lithuania, Brazil, all places all over around the world because of being dispersed at this key point in history and having no temple. And we'll tie that into some things about Israel today and what's happening and their plans for a third temple that's in the Bible. It's talked about that it will be rebuilt. But these are prophetic fulfillments. You can look at what's happening today in the signs of the heavens in the earth. Look at what's happening in the weather patterns. We're right now facing a possible very serious weather conditions that could touch the Carolina coast. You know, it's amazing the tsunamis that have killed thousands and thousands of people at one time. We don't have technology, we don't have a weapon, we don't have a power known to the human race that can stop these unbelievable catastrophes. So let's turn to Matthew 24. That is the major chapter in the Bible that Jesus told us about some things that were going to happen. And truly today we see the happening of these signs right before our face. One of the major signs that Jesus talked about in Matthew 24 is that in verse 6 it says, "You will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not frightened or troubled, for this must take place." You know, of Jesus, it was said that he fulfilled every part of the Word of God with his life. It was a fulfillment of prophecy. Jesus, the prophecies of him had to take place. They had to be fulfilled. But it says here, this must take place. But he says, but the end is not yet. And Revelation tells us the end. And it's unbelievable that in the book of Revelation, when the tribulation begins in chapter 6, one of the first things that happens is God removes peace from the earth. We can't even imagine what that would be like. That there would be no peace in the earth. And it also says that the sword will be unleashed and men will murder one another. Look what's happening today in Syria. An unbelievable, staggering war that started in 2011. And they estimate that in the first 5 years of the war in Syria, 400,000 Syrians were killed. In March of 2019, it came out in the reports that 5.7 million Syrians have fled the country. And we know what's happening where the war-torn countries, people are fleeing. And we've had a refugee crisis in Europe. We have more refugees in Europe than we had at the end of World War II. The United Nations has called this a worldwide epidemic. It is a disaster on a world scale to the billions of dollars and the relocation of human beings. 6.1 million people of Syria are displaced. They have no home. Their homes have been destroyed. If you've seen any of the pictures, you see a ravaging war that has destroyed infrastructure, buildings, bridges, no water, no electricity, and people are starving to death in these nations. We saw also what came out of the use of chemical weapons. And today we have weapons that have gone way beyond what anyone ever dreamed that technology and weaponry could come to the level that it comes to today. And we saw the horrifying films that were put out of hospitals and emergency rooms where children and adults and women came in, flooding into emergency rooms, and they were having the manifestations of chemical warfare, chemicals that killed them. It was released this year that they found record and documentation in Syria that over 20,000 human beings have been executed. Executed. We had a man that worked for the Syrian government. His code name was Caesar. He came out with photographic images of thousands and thousands. His job was to document the death of these people that had been tortured and executed. The photographs went under a forensic examination in Washington by our experts in the CIA, Homeland Security. They verified the photographs as absolutely true and evidence of what's taking place to human beings, signs of torture, signs of malnutrition, signs of starvation. What would cause a human being to do that to another human being? Right now, the International Court, they say there is evidence that war crimes have been committed in Syria. Massive torture. But one of the things you see in Syria and in Yemen, where another war is going on, these are just two that I'm mentioning. There's many places that are in wars in Africa and other places of the world that are so, the facts come out and they're so staggering. But we're seeing a war on children. Children have been used as human shields. Children have starved to death in some of these places and do not get the proper nutrition. There's children in Syria that haven't been in school for almost 7 years. They don't read or write because there's not a school for them to go to, or it was bombed. They're estimating in July of 2018, the reports came out from the United Nations that 20,000 children in Syria have been killed or maimed. And I'm sure some of you have seen the reports with little tiny children, 5 and 6 years old, that don't have arms, they don't have legs. And there are humanitarian organizations trying to get in there to help the children, to feed the children. But a lot of these humanitarian workers that go in to help have been murdered. We're seeing things happen in a war, and some are calling it a genocide, because these people wanted a safe country to raise their families. We're seeing a rise of human trafficking. What are these things that are taking place that are absolutely so staggering? And Jesus said, the disciples in the first part of chapter 24 of Matthew, of this powerful chapter that talks about these signs and these things that are going to happen in the end times, Jesus departed from the temple area, he was going his way in verse 1, when his disciples came to him to call his attention, now listen to this, to the buildings of the temple. Here are the disciples saying, Jesus, look at this temple, look at these buildings, and pointed this out to Jesus. But he answered them and said, do you see all of these? Truly I tell you, there will not be left here one stone upon another that will not be thrown down. That temple during the time of Jesus is described and talked about in ancient historical works. The magnificence, the size, the beauty of this temple. And Jesus tells his disciples, almost identical to what he said in Luke 19, there will not be one stone left upon another. And you can imagine that the disciples were perplexed about this. What is Jesus talking about? Then while Jesus was seated on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately and said, tell us, when's this going to take place? And what will be the sign of your coming and of the end, the completion, the consummation of the age? And these were written over 2,000 years ago. Jesus answered, and look at the first warning. Jesus answered them and told the disciples, be careful that no one misleads you, deceiving you and leading you into error. And we know today there are so many unbelievable attacks against the Word of God, saying that God doesn't exist, saying that this Bible isn't true. And you can study the evidence for yourself. And it's unbelievable, the prophecies that have come forth and the witness of God's word in the earth. Because look what he says, many will come in on the strength of my name, appropriating the name which belongs to me, saying, I'm the Christ, the Messiah, and they will lead many astray. In many, many historical times, over the last 2,000 years, even at this time, there are over 1,000 people that claim to be Jesus Christ. And he said, this deception will deceive many and lead many astray. And then he says, you will hear of wars and rumors of war. And of course, we've talked about, see that you are not frightened or troubled, for this must take place, but the end is not yet. I've had the honor in my college classes I teach on the Holocaust of having veterans in my classes. And every class I had the veterans. They were some from Desert Storm, some that were in the first assaults, the first war into Baghdad, into Iraq. I had students that were soldiers that spent time in the Middle East. And they would tell the students in the classroom what war was really like. And it was a horrifying thing, because these soldiers come back and they have seen atrocities. They've seen human beings. The Bible talks about human beings that don't have a conscience. They have no regret. They have no conviction. They have no compunction or regret about things that they've done, murderous, bloody things that they have done. And our soldiers have been eyewitness to some of these atrocities and to some of these people that are willing to take up the sword and the evil that we've seen even in the last decade. Think of the films that ISIS put on the internet for the world to see, to invoke terror, filming beheadings and putting them on the internet for the world to see. The blood and the murder in the hands of these people. And that is a sign of the times. Read Romans chapter 1, and it will tell you what happens to a human being, a civilization, and history bears out these civilizations that were criminal societies. They were criminal societies. The human sacrifice in the Old Testament of these civilizations that were against God, that worshiped demons and idols and were against the Word of God. Look at the destruction that came in those civilizations. You can visit some of those places and all that's left is a handful of dirt. There's nothing left. They were wiped out. the Word of God tells us, especially in chapters Romans 1, you can see what happens when a human being does not acknowledge God and his truth and is not grateful and thankful for the creation that God created. Look what happens. In the end of the chapter, it says they are conscienceless. They don't have a conscience. And this is what the Bible says about some of the things we're seeing today. We're shocked as a nation with these mass shootings. What's happening to these young people? Where did that young man get so much hate that he walked into a church in Charleston, South Carolina, a Bible study, a prayer meeting, and gunned people down? Where did that evil come into his heart? What is happening that these shooters can take a weapon, unbelievable weapon, machine gun, and walk into a church, a synagogue, and open fire on people that are worshiping God? And of course, Matthew 24 talks about you will be persecuted. Do you know who the number one religion, group of people in the world that are persecuted the most all over the world are Christians? Can you believe that? Christian people are murdered in some countries every day. They're crucified as an act of torture and murder and a sign to drive Christianity out of countries, to destroy churches, burn churches, destroy them. And Jesus said, you will be persecuted. But the Bible is what gives us the answer to understand the hour we're living in. To understand, I tell my students, this is the only book in the world that can tell you what evil is and tell you what good is, and make you understand what happens in the heart of a human being when they become godless in their thinking, according to Romans chapter 1, godless in their thinking. Because sometimes you have to ask yourself, what were they thinking? The young man who walked into the synagogue, or those that bring knifing attacks. I'm not talking about knives. I'm talking about knives that go into a public place and begin stabbing people. What was in their thinking? And Jesus said, and the prophet Daniel said, that this time in history of the last days, the end of the age, will be a time that has never been before and never will be again on the face of the earth. And it describes what happens to human beings when they do not believe the Word of God. What does Western civilization mean? What does Judeo-Christian ethic mean? It means that the foundation of the civilization is the Bible, whether you believe it or not, or whether you agree with it or not. The 10 Commandments and our rule of law in the United States of America is full of biblical reference. And even there was a man who was an atheist, and he said, if you take the Bible and the 10 Commandments out of our legal system in the United States, there will be no legal system. Because he said it's infiltrated all the way through historically and in our laws and our understanding of good, our understanding that stealing is wrong. You can go to the court in Rutherford County and you see cases every day where the law has been broken and there is a consequence for breaking that law. The prison system and jail, to me, is one of the most merciful things that can happen to a human being because they can have time to think about what they did and repent. So I'm going to be back on Monday, and we're going to talk about what's happening in Jerusalem, in Israel today, and why that was such an important sign of the times. We're going to talk some more out of the book of Luke, chapter 21, where Jesus gave more signs, and one of the signs he gave was that in the last days there would be diseases, epidemics, diseases of long duration. And this was one of the signs where Jesus said of the last days. And we're going to talk about some of these infections, some of these diseases that are rampant in countries. We were all shocked about AIDS and what happens to a human being when that gets in your bloodstream. We're going to see some of the things. I'm going to talk just briefly about some of the things that are happening in medicine and some of the diseases. A major article came out this week where a young man almost died. He was fine one day and was instantly critical, so ill they had to put him on life support. He could have been dead within 2 to 3 days. And the doctors did a press conference. And one of the reasons his lungs were so attacked is because he was vaping. And that's a phenomena that's taking over our country and our young people. And the article told about the horrors of the vaping and what it can do to you. So get your Bible out over the weekend. Look at Matthew 24. Look at Luke 21. And we're going to continue in the scriptures and go through more signs of the times. And the Bible says if you're a Christian, lift up your head when you see these things, because your redemption draweth nigh. Have a great weekend, and we'll be back to look at the scriptures on Monday.
WCAB